free audio post-production by alphonic.com.
Hello and welcome back to an all-new episode of the Couch Brotato Podcast. Coming up, strap in and feel the need for speed. That's right, guys and gals. We're taking to the skies with the long-awaited sequel that soared past expectations. We're talking about Top Gun Maverick. Join us as we break down the high-flying action, emotional callbacks, and how Tom Cruise proved he's still the king of the cockpit after all these years. Let's buzz the tower one more time right now on the Couch Brotato Podcast.
Take a look at this.
The man, the legend.
This is going to take you and your aircraft to the breaking point.
What the hell?
Make us proud.
My dad believed in you. I'm not going to make the same mistake.
Oh my God, here they come!
Those are your pilots. If anything happens to them, you'll never forgive yourself.
Here we are.
Top Gun Maverick, rated PG-13.
Hello and welcome back to an all-new episode of the Couch Brotato Podcast, a podcast where movies are the main focal point. Friends shooting shit about their favorite movies. My name is Russ, and with me, as always, is my partner in crime, my wingman, Mr. Adam Lincourt. Adam, how's it going, my friend?
Oh, it's going great. Super excited to talk about the movie we have picked out for tonight.
Yeah,
Wingman.
Yeah, we're finally getting to do this. We planned on doing this a couple weeks ago, but unfortunately, as has been the case for us since the start of 2025, life finds a way. And super busy with the Easter holiday. Both my kids are in sports now, so that's and they're playing different sports. They're not like at the same location, so that's been very taxing as well. So, yeah, now we finally are able to sit down, talk a little Top Gun Maverick. We're finally doing something that was made in the 21st century.
Yeah, it feels like we've been stuck in the 80s and 90s for quite some time now.
Yeah, and it's funny now when I ask you, as always, if when did you see this movie, you can actually at least maybe say you've seen it in a movie theater.
Well, funny you say that. I didn't get to see this in a movie theater, but I did see it not on a VHS, so I can't say that.
Okay, cool. That's actually a shame that you didn't get to see this in a movie theater. This is I went and seen this twice. I seen it on an IMAX screen on Memorial Day weekend, and then
nice.
My wife and I went on vacation. Probably 3 weeks after it had come out, and there was a movie theater literally across the parking lot from our hotel. Like, there was a Regal Cinema, and we were just looking for something to do. It was kind of late, so I said, she hadn't seen it yet. I was like, fuck it, let's go see Top Gun.
That's awesome. That's
Top
really
Gun
cool.
Maverick is by far probably one of my favorite movie-going experiences of all time. If for those of you that have seen this, some of the, like, especially the scenes in the cockpit, if you're watching this on IMAX, it really feels like you're inside the airplane with Tom Cruise and Miles Teller and Glenn Powell and the rest of the gang.
Yeah.
It really feels like a roller coaster, like an interactive experience. It's fantastic to see it on a big screen.
That does sound really cool.
And I've never actually, nothing I've seen has come close to that since. I mean, I've seen Oppenheimer in IMAX. I've seen, tons of awesome movies, but I've nothing has come close to Top Gun Maverick. I think the last time I had a movie-going experience like that was probably for Avengers Endgame, which we actually have done on this podcast. So check it out after you listen to this one on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcast.
First cheap plug, and we're not even 10 minutes in.
We're actually not even 5 minutes into the episode.
Oh, wow. We're doing great.
Well, what were your thoughts on Top Gun Maverick? I mean, you said you didn't see it in a theater, but I'm guessing you've seen it on streaming or...
Yes, it was. The first time I saw it was a borrowed Blu-ray. Second time I saw it was streaming. Didn't get to see it mainly because pandemic was going on, and I really wasn't going to see movies other than like the movies that our gang usually goes to see. And we didn't all get together to go see Top Gun Maverick, so it flew under my radar. Pun very much intended. So I decided, you know what? Russ thinks this is a really cool movie. Actually, I watched it based on your recommendation because I was I'm still kind of in that mode of like sequels and franchises aren't my thing, really. I don't really like them anymore. But this one met and exceeded expectations. It is such a good film.
Well, I think for me personally, I think I talked us up to mythic proportions when we all used to work together, because I think I was more pumped to see this than anybody because like we used to all work together. All of us are big movie fans, and I was so excited when they introduced, like they said, Top Gun Maverick is coming out. They dropped a teaser trailer for it. I think I watched it the morning that it dropped. And I'm so excited for it, and I kept getting disappointed when it kept getting pushed back.
Yeah.
I was like, this motherfucker's never going to come out. But yeah, I mean, like, but yeah, for me, it's one of those movies that like it plays up on the nostalgia of the 1986, the original, but it's not like soaked in it. I mean, it plays like a lot of the same beats. Like a lot of the characters in this are kind of like rehashes of, like, Hangman as an example is essentially Val Kilmer's Iceman 86.
It's even the name, like the call sign is super similar.
Yeah, but I mean, it plays on the nostalgia of the original, but it's not like too much.
Yeah.
Because a lot of those like legacy sequels and like when they reboot these, they really seem to dip into that nostalgia more than they should.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but
and I mean, you can tell they're pulling on the nostalgia heartstrings a few times in this movie.
Well, I mean, even at the opening sequence, you get Harold Faltermeyer's like awesome Top Gun score, and then it goes from that directly into Danger Zone by Kenny Loggins.
Which might come up in a later...
Kenny Loggins, the king of the 80s movie soundtracks.
Yeah.
But no, man, like this is just an absolute thrill ride. And this is one of those rare movies that like I tell myself after I've seen Star Wars Episode 1 that I am not going to get so excited and blow up, like just pump up a movie so much in my head that I'm going to come away disappointed. That's what happened with me in The Phantom Menace. Like I was building that up so much and it let me down. And ever since then, even like Avengers Endgame as an example, like I figured it was going to be good, but I didn't try to get too excited for it because I didn't want to be like, oh, that fucking sucked. Or even if it was good but not great. But no, Top Gun for me was like, I think if I hadn't seen it in IMAX, I might feel just a little different about it. But man, it plays so well, and it's one of those movies that is kind of the genesis of our show. I was telling you before we came on that I've watched it twice since we originally decided to do this. I caught it randomly on the Paramount Network, and it was the scene where after Pete Mitchell is introduced as the Top Gun instructor and he gets everybody up in the planes and they do the push-up bet.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I'll watch this for a couple minutes. And then I find myself watching the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
And this is with commercials. I could have easily just stopped it and watched it. Like I could have streamed it on Paramount Plus. I own the digital version of it. Like, no, I'll just watch it with the fuck commercials.
Man, that's dedication.
Well, I think it's part of the charm too. That's how I grew up. Basic cables, like you're watching movies. I just didn't have at a push of a button. I had to get up and go grab an old VHS tape, or if I'm watching it on TV, it's like, okay, well, I guess I have to sit through these.
Yeah, I had to do the same as a kid, but if I bring anything up like that at work now, my coworkers are like, "Hey, yeah, how was college in the '80s?" Like, dick,
Dude, like this is probably like one of the movies that like I have a coworker that listens to the show sometimes, and like this is probably like one of the movies that he's actually seen.
Oh, okay,
So
all right.
yeah, like I don't know if he's even seen the original Top Gun, but
Yeah, I as I was watching this, Jenna was like, "What's this movie?" I was like, "Oh, it's Top Gun Maverick." She's like, "Oh yeah," and I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Is it good?" And I was like, "Yeah." It's a sequel to a really good original, and she's like, "I've never seen the original," and it just floored me. I was like, "What?"
oh my god, dude, like she hates The Princess Bride, and now she's never seen Top Gun.
Yeah, even though I know she's ridden the roller coaster like 30,000 times,
Yeah,
and watched the scenes in the queue line.
yeah, you could literally like Kings Island. It's an amusement park. I don't know, about an hour from where we live.
Yeah,
They were Paramount's Kings Island for a few years, and is that ride still even there?
yeah, it's called the Bat now.
Okay, but they used to have a ride called Top Gun, and they basically played Harold Faltermeyer's theme song, Top Gun theme song, while you're waiting in line. So you could literally hear that song probably for a good 30 minutes, depending on how busy the park was. And they would play clips from the movie.
Yeah, they would have those giant CRT TVs mounted to all of these like lamps, because the queue line was one of the longest lines in the entire world, and you would have to go way back into the back. And of course, since it was so long, you just watched clips from Top Gun the entire time.
We literally have to do like, we should start a film festival with just movies that your wife has never seen.
We should, and then I need to make her watch them, and then like report back of what her review of the movie is.
Well, I've been thinking about starting a series of episodes where our significant others, like we have them watch a movie they've never seen, and we bring them on, and just to get their reaction.
Yeah,
because I'm pretty sure that Jen has never seen Point Break with Keanu Reeves and Patrick Swayze. So I wanted to bring her on after we watch that to get her reaction to that.
Okay.
Because I know she's just going to find it to be just as awesome as I do.
Yeah. 100%.
All right. Hey, you ready to knock out some categories?
I am. Yeah.
All right. I do want to give you guys and gals a little forewarning before we get into this. With this movie being less than 3 years old, I mean, most people have seen it. The movie was a huge, huge hit. But if you have not seen Top Gun Maverick yet, please, like, just stop the episode now, go watch it, come back, and then listen to the rest of the episode. It's available on Paramount Plus. So, and you can, like I said, you can catch it on the Paramount Network literally like probably 3 or 4 times a week. It's on there all the time.
It's also available on Prime through certain tiers. So.
Okay, yeah. So you can also watch it on Amazon Prime. I just had it in my notes. It's on Paramount Plus.
Yep. I mean, it's a Paramount movie. Should be.
Yeah. I mean, the one movie that they should have. They don't have Wayne's World on there, but they have Top Gun. But in the event you are curious, if you want to know what in the fuck is Top Gun Maverick about, Pete Maverick Mitchell, a seasoned Navy pilot, is called back to the elite Top Gun program to train a group of the Navy's best young aviators for a dangerous mission. Among them is Lieutenant Bradley Rooster Bradshaw, the son of Maverick's late best friend Goose. As Maverick faces his past and the limits of his own future, he must prepare the pilots and himself for a near impossible combat mission that will test their skill, trust, and courage. And that one is lifted directly from IMDb.
But it's a really good synopsis. So
yeah, because if I would have wrote it just like, yeah, it's the fucking sequel to Top Gun. What else do you need to know? All right. The tail of the tape, Top Gun Maverick is rated PG-13. It was released on May the 27th, 2022. Stars Tom Cruise, Jennifer Connelly, Miles Teller, John Hamm, Glenn Powell, Ed Harris, and a cameo by the late, great Val Kilmer. Directed by Joseph Kosinski. Rotten Tomatoes score of 96% from critics and 99% from audiences. I thought about putting up the critics' consensus, but it's a fucking 96% approval rating from critics. I think it speaks for itself. And it's 99% from audiences. Like, everybody fucking loves this movie.
Right.
Budget of $177 million, which I find very hard to believe that this movie only costs that much, but whatever. Grossed $1.496 billion worldwide, making this the 14th highest grossing movie of all time.
That's crazy, especially during a pandemic.
Right. Nominated for 6 Academy Awards, including Best Picture, Best Adapted Screenplay, Best Original Song, Best Film Editing, Best Visual Effects, and it won for Best Sound. And you can watch this currently on Paramount Plus, or like I said, around the clock on the Paramount Network in between episodes of Yellowstone, 1917, whatever Taylor Sheridan show they've got, and Bar Rescue. That's essentially what the Paramount Network is. It's Bar Rescue, all the Taylor Sheridan shows, and Top Gun Maverick, and the occasional hey, we'll do a Raiders or we'll do an Indiana Jones marathon on a random Sunday.
I feel like that's if you boil down cable networks, that's pretty much all cable networks now. So they're like a smattering of a few shows and then like a random movie here or there.
I was kind of curious. I wonder what True TV is going to do now, because they used to just show Impractical Jokers all the time, but now that 2 of them are pretty much sexual deviants, I don't know if they can keep running that show.
Right. I feel it used to be court TV, and you used to be able to watch like court cases, and like now that's not a thing anymore.
No, it's literally Impractical Jokers and the Cabanera effect or something.
Yeah, the really set up staged magician show. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know, at least with Paramount Network, you get like John Taffert just fucking blowing a gasket every 15 minutes. That by itself is worth at least watching that show for a couple minutes.
Right.
All right. Did you know these are some fun and interesting tidbits about the production of Top Gun Maverick? The idea for a Top Gun sequel dates back to 1990, but Tom Cruise rejected the notion, claiming it was irresponsible and the original film was an amusement park ride and not an accurate depiction of the Navy.
It literally was an amusement park ride.
It wasn't until 2010 that production finally got underway on this.
Yeah, that's a long time.
It was delayed until 2012 due to the suicide death of the original director, Tony Scott, who was brought on to do the sequel. It took another 3 years to get it up and running once they found a new director.
Yeah.
I forgot all about like Tony Scott killing himself while this was in pre-production. Because once I heard that, like, fuck, this is never getting made. Because who's going to make Top Gun the way Tony Scott did?
Right.
This movie, as I said early on, this movie was originally supposed to be released on July the 12th, 2019. But Paramount pushed the release date back to June 26th, 2020 to film some complex action sequences. But then, of course, COVID happens, and it was pushed back 4 more times.
Yeah.
Until it finally was released on May the 27th, 2022.
So crazy. That's such a long time to wait.
I seriously did think they were gonna. I was almost to the point like just put it on Paramount Plus. Like I'll pay for a subscription to be able to watch it. I'll even buy it if you put it on Paramount Plus. Like because Disney did that for a little bit, where you could buy like I think they did it for like Black Widow and Jungle Cruise and a couple others.
Yeah, they did.
Which, God, that was such a big mistake. I paid like $24 for Black Widow on Disney Plus just so I could watch it again.
Oh, it wasn't bad, but like it wasn't even of all the movies. Like you don't even need to see it. It's just like, yeah, it's there.
Yeah,
it's not bad though.
Speaking of Paramount Plus and my request for them to put it on the streamer, they did want to put it on Paramount Plus when movie theaters closed around 2020, and a 2021 release wasn't looking very good. However, Tom Cruise, who also was a producer on the film, and plus, like, let's be real, Tom Cruise is the last big movie star we got. So when he decides to start swinging his dick around, people are going to pay attention.
Yep.
Plus, that gives me a chance to use that phrase. He insisted on a theatrical release and refused to give in to the studio pressure to put it on the streamer.
Yep.
Well done, Tom Cruise. And thank you. Because I honestly, movie going started coming around in probably 2021, but like we hadn't had like, I think the only hit that we had was Spider-Man No Way Home, which that catered to a specific crowd. That catered to us, but that didn't, I mean, that wasn't a movie that like my mom would go see in a theater, or, your grandparents, like it catered to the nerd culture, which I'm part of that culture too. So don't take offense, all you nerds out there. But like we hadn't had like a big hit outside of that. And then this came out and like everybody's seen this movie.
Yeah.
I mean, like I went and seen it. My in-laws went and seen it. My son went and seen it. Like this was probably one of the very few things that America has agreed upon in well over a decade. Like everybody loved Top Gun Maverick. So
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I consider it like this is what like it saved movie theaters, I think.
Yeah. No, if it weren't for Top Gun Maverick, we probably wouldn't have the same movie going experience after the pandemic.
Yeah, because then like the following year we got the Barbenheimer.
Mm-hmm.
Now 2024 kind of sucked a little bit. Wasn't like a huge mammoth hit, but now we've got, I was reading something like this weekend leading up, like the pre-Marvel release that kicks off the summer movie season is usually like a really dead spot.
Yeah.
But there were 4 movies that grossed, 4 movies that grossed $20 million or more this past weekend. And Sinners is looking like a big hit. Minecraft has been absolutely huge. A movie that was released almost 30 years ago was the number 2 movie of the weekend, which was Revenge of the Sith. So, movies are doing okay now.
Yep.
I don't want to say we're back, but we're getting there.
We are.
According to Miles Teller, the cast got to choose their own call signs. He chose Rooster because it was in the same family as Goose.
Okay.
Now, let me ask you this. What would your call sign be?
Oh, mine is always and forever. Oh, okay. So I'm going to preface this with how old I am. I'm in the grand scheme of things, I'm not super old. So, but I know what VHSs are, and some of our viewers might not. I used to play this DOS game called Wing Commander.
Oh, yeah. People know. I'm sure. Well, no, actually, no one that listens to this show knows what that is. So go ahead.
They made it into a really crappy movie in 1999, but it was a really fun game, and you got to pick your own call sign, and it worked like the regular, Navy pilot thing where you took off from an aircraft carrier, albeit in space. And my call sign was Raptor, and that is actually why I have my gamer tag for Xbox, PlayStation, Steam. That's why it's Raptor. I've had the same call sign since the early days of DOS.
So all you gamers out there, look for Raptor on you whenever you play video games on. You might just
Yeah.
get lucky and Adam will add you as a friend.
See, there you go. I'm starting to become a celebrity now.
I
Gonna
think
hit the big
mine.
time.
We, my wife and I do this thing where we used to give our dogs like nicknames, and one day we were talking, and I just like, well, imagine if they were, if our two dogs were like secret operatives in like some government agency, and we gave them fucking code names, and it was Nightwolf and Shadowhawk.
That's cool. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like something like in a Will Ferrell movie. Like I would expect that to be in Step Brothers too. You know, like I will call you Nightwolf, and you shall be Shadowhawk. But it'd be one of those.
Yeah. That I like both of those. I think you're more of a Shadowhawk.
Yeah, I couldn't be Nightwolf because like I usually am asleep in a chair by like 9:30. So. Tom Cruise was instrumental in championing Val Kilmer in reprising his role as Iceman. This would be Val Kilmer's final film before his passing from pneumonia, April the 1st, 2025. We'll get into Val Kilmer in a little bit. So I do know this was the genesis for us doing this particular movie, but
right.
We'll talk about. We'll get some Val conversations in. John Hamm accepted his role in the film without even reading the script.
I would too. Like, oh, Top Gun? Mm-hmm. Sure.
Yeah, I mean, like, they never sent me a script. I would have done the same thing. Like, save your postage, guys. Save your typing on the... Don't send me an email. Like, just, do you want this? Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Man, I would have really liked to have played Hondo. That should be a new category. It's like, if you could be a performer in this, like... If you could be like somebody in this movie, who would you be? That we'll do that next time.
Jennifer Connelly. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't know. Like I have some Jennifer Connelly thoughts too. Nicholas Hoult and Glenn Powell were also considered for the role of Rooster before Miles Teller was cast.
Okay.
Now this next one I thought was super hard to believe, considering that this man has been starring in movies for it's been close to 40 years now.
Yeah.
This was the first movie Tom Cruise has ever made that has crossed $1 billion worldwide.
That's crazy.
None of the Mission Impossibles did it. Few Good Men did it. I mean, all the movies that he's made, all the iconic films over his entire career, this is the first one that's made $1 billion.
Yep. That's crazy.
36 years had passed between the release of Top Gun and Top Gun Maverick, marking one of the longest time gaps between a film and its direct sequel with the same lead actor. The record is 52 years. Do you have any idea what that movie would be? I will give you a hint. The original is considered one of the worst movies of all time.
Oh,
And another hint, I would almost make this one of my call signs too, just to throw people off. Not like it's not as bad as just being called Bob, but
go ahead and let me know, because it's gonna bug me.
The record holder is Manos: The Hands of Fate, released in 1966, and then Manos Returns in 2018.
Okay.
I take it you're not a Manos: The Hands of Fate guy?
No, I'm not.
I've never seen it, but whenever you look up worst movies of all time, that movie's generally on the list.
Yeah. We should do a worst movies of all time. That's a good top 10 we should do.
Oh, okay. I thought you were like, gently hinting towards doing Manos: The Hands of Fate. Like, fuck it, I'm game.
I mean, sure.
I've never seen it. I'm sure it's available on some platform.
It better be so bad that it's good. Otherwise, I'm going to regret that. But
yeah. Last one I got, the U.S. Navy allowed filmmakers to use a few naval ships, including the USS Abraham Lincoln. I don't know why they called it like the full name. Why? I just called it the USS Abe Lincoln or the USS Lincoln.
Yeah, USS Lincoln.
And you don't have to go like the full name, but whatever. They were
USS
also
hold the reins. No.
They were also able to rent single seat and dual seat Super F-18 Super Hornets, along with pilots, for the production at a cost of $11,000 per flight hour.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, just our military budget's ridiculous as it is. So recouping some of that cost from Hollywood is probably fine.
The one thing that I am surprised that I did not find in my research is that Tom Cruise spent a year and a half training on how to fly one of those.
Really?
And is actually flying. Like, I thought that I would find that. Like, oh yeah, Tom Cruise like spent 2 years learning how to fly one of those, and he actually shot down 3 like Russian.
He actually is an ace now. And no.
Well, actually, at the end of the movie, when he takes Jennifer Connelly up in the plane, I know it's a spoiler, but I warned you guys ahead of time that he's actually flying that. That's his own personal plane.
Right. Yeah, I actually saw that in my research as well.
I didn't shit on that, did I? Like, you didn't have that?
No.
Okay.
No.
I'd feel horrible about doing that. But that's all I got. So I don't know if you had anything to add.
I do. So a couple of different things. You were touching on some of the records that it was breaking at the box office. But you didn't touch on a couple of the things that I had here. So this is actually the second film since COVID-19 that grossed over $1 billion worldwide. Spider-Man is the first, obviously. But also, it is the fifth film that earned $1 billion worldwide without being released in China.
I did see that.
Yeah. Pirates of the Caribbean Dead Man's Chest is one of them. Dark Knight, Joker, and Spider-Man No Way Home. And then this is the fifth film.
Okay. Yeah, it's a lot harder to do that now because Hollywood started becoming more dependent on that market. Mm-hmm. And once that market kind of dried up, you didn't see quite as many films cracking that barrier.
Right. And I mean, honestly, like a lot of films do bow to China when it comes to what they want to see in theaters and the censorships that they do. But it's a big market. Like if you release your film in China, you get a lot of money.
Yeah, although not so much anymore. American films don't play quite as well over there anymore.
Right. Yeah.
I like to see them pull that shit on the producers of Manos, The Hands of Fate.
I did have in here that Tom Cruise met with Ridley Scott to see if he would be interested in directing the movie. Ridley Scott said no. He politely declined, as the high octane action movies weren't his style. And then, as per usual, I do have a couple of goofs that this movie had. So hopefully it doesn't ruin your thoughts on this movie being so fantastic. It certainly won't.
It never. It won't.
Yeah, I was gonna say everybody loves this movie anyways, but when Coyote is in G-Lock and releases a stick and his aircraft is falling towards the ground, Super Hornets are actually equipped with auto GCAS, which is automatic ground collision avoidance systems. So it would actually automatically pull back up for him. So, but
would it have been it wouldn't have been as intense of a scene. Like, oh, okay, it'll pull him back up. Don't worry.
Yeah. It's not that it all has an automatic failsafe where he won't collide with the ground.
It's the oh shit button.
No, the oh shit button launches you out with a parachute.
I wish somebody would have told that to Goose.
At the beginning of the film, I actually noticed this pretty early on as well. It was confirmed to me by looking it up online, but because other people had noticed this as well. But Kane says that drones don't require pilots at the beginning. Like, that's the best thing between a plane that's flown with a pilot in the box and one that's not. Drones require pilots, and they're just doing so remotely, and they still have the same instincts as regular pilots. It's just that they don't have any of the hazards which would also make this movie really, really boring because obviously they would send drones in.
Yeah.
And they would do the same things with the drones because the drones can pull up and not experience any G's, and the pilot won't pass out because he's piloting it remotely.
Well, I don't know that. I don't think Top Gun Desktop has quite the same ring as Top Gun Maverick.
No, not at all. But drones do require pilots, despite what the movie might have wanted to tell you. So
nice try, stick jockey. Or whatever Ed Harris calls him, a stick jockey. I'm sure I butchered that line somewhat, but
that's all I had.
All right, well, good stuff, man. Yeah, there's a ton of stuff, like especially with the military like involvement, and like there's tons of good stuff to dig into if you want to take a deep dive into Top Gun Maverick. Yeah, but a lot of it would have required, like, this would have been a 2-part episode if I would have done all that.
Yeah.
I don't think we're quite ready for that yet.
No, I think also we would require more expert knowledge on military things. I'm not a huge expert on the military. Like, my dad helped like do flight sims and stuff, but
well, fuck, we would have brought your dad in then.
But yeah, I mean, even then, I don't think it's going to be super entertaining to listen to us drone on about military things before we get into like deep diving into Top Gun.
God, those guys are old. They watch the History Channel. All right. The Martin Scorsese This Is Cinema Award for the best scene of the movie. I kind of narrowed this down. It's pretty hard to come up with just one, but I had the Maverick running the test track. Obviously, he is showing everyone that it can be done in the time frame that they set. That's, man, that was like one of those scenes where, like, when I seen it in theaters, people fucking clapped when he did that. They get the IMAX screen, because we went on Memorial Day and it was like packed. Like, I didn't even think because I took my son, and to show you the power of Top Gun Maverick, this is actually my son's favorite movie.
There you go.
Because he fucking loves it. But we went and seen this in a packed IMAX showing on Memorial Day, and people clapped when he nailed that. I'm like, okay, that was like, all right, this is it right here. This is what I've missed for like the last 2 years.
Right.
But that one is a contender. I have the Maverick and Iceman face to face.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And then essentially the last 30 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, so I have pretty much all the same. The first two that you mentioned are my honorable mentions, especially the test track. That was one of my favorite scenes. Will probably be my second favorite scene. My favorite scene, though, is probably the last 30 minutes of the movie, especially once they're out of the plane. They've run the mission and they're trying to escape enemy territory, and they're getting in the old planes and trying to make it back to the ship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I don't know, man. It's tough. I also really like the training sequence with the Who, which we'll get into that. That could be something coming up a little bit. But I don't know. For me, it's when he nails the test track. Simply because I think for me, it's just because, like, I was in a movie theater and it's one of those moments where everybody cheered.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, maybe not objectively, it might not be the best scene, but just, it's kind of like I always judge Avengers Endgame versus Avengers Infinity War. I always think Avengers Infinity War is the better movie. But Endgame's a better experience just because of like all the emotion that was in that scene for the first time, and at a packed house. That's kind of what I feel about that particular scene.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with that one, but I mean, I can't argue the last 30 minutes.
Yeah, last 30 minutes is very very tense. Gets you a little bit anxious, puts you on the edge of your seat. You still have the same kind of tension from like the test run scene, but it's like real life tension at this point because they're getting followed by enemy planes, and like every time, like it's legit what they do. Every time they get hit, it's like got another hit, got another hit, and you're like, oh man.
Yeah, you kind of feel like Goose is gonna fuck everything up because he can't keep up.
Yeah,
and then he can just kind of like, okay, I can do this. I'm good, and but I'm perfectly fine giving it to the last 30 minutes of the movie.
And when he has to shoot blind and he hits it bullseye, oh man, so good.
Yeah, that's one of those, like, that's the scene in the movie though. Just that sequence, like, okay, if you've got unless it's like an emergency or like a wedding, it's like, okay, if I'm late for something because I'm watching this, you tell somebody like, hey, the last 30 minutes of Top Gun Maverick was on, Paramount Plus or Paramount Network. Like, oh, okay, that's cool. Don't worry about it. We'll just bump reservations up to, another 30 minutes, whatever. But yeah, I'm perfectly fine giving it to that one.
Okay.
The Andy Dufresne Get Busy Living or Get Busy Dying Award for the best or most quotable line from the movie. What do you got?
So I really like when they're like, why are you looking at me like that? What's with the face? Like, it's the only one I've got. I really like it's the only one I've got.
Dude, that's what I had too. I really want to.
Yeah.
I really want to start using that in like my everyday conversation. Like, are you pissed off or like, what's wrong with you? Like, you got this look on your face. Like, it's the only one I got.
Yeah. I like that line. It's so good.
Yeah. I mean, there's more
a couple of honorable mentions, but yeah.
Well, what were your honorable mentions?
I really like the beginning scene when he lands after going faster than any living human being, like 7,000 miles an hour or whatever it is. And he goes into the diner and he's like, where am I? And the kid goes, Earth.
Speaking of that scene, that's also a very cool scene too. Have you heard a theory about that where I forget who it was, somebody said that Maverick actually dies? Because let's be real, no one's going to survive ejecting from a plane at Mach 10. So I think it's like 7,000 miles an hour.
You're literally jarring your body from going 7,000 miles an hour to zero.
Yeah.
Like there's no way you're surviving that.
But there's this theory that he actually dies. And the rest of the movie is like him, like basically him in heaven. He's putting all the pieces of his life back together. Like he reunites with his one true love, which is Penny, which I completely forgot about that. She's mentioned briefly in the original Top Gun.
Yeah.
And then of course he reconnects with his best friend's son.
Mm-hmm.
And of course he saves the day.
Yeah, and he does so at the behest of Iceman, and
right,
and it was able to attend his funeral and whatnot.
Mm. Yeah, I don't buy it. I mean, realistically, yeah, he would have obviously died, but it's a fucking Top Gun movie. I'm not going into that expecting it to be
right,
like interstellar, scientifically accurate.
Yeah, see, I feel like if you wanted that to be scientifically accurate, that's a really sad and crappy Top Gun movie.
Yeah, it's like, all right, 5 minutes in.
Yeah, Maverick's dead, but let's watch these other guys do stuff.
Yeah. Or it's like a short. It's like Top Gun Maverick, like playing every 30 minutes. Like, why is that playing every 30 minutes in one auditorium? Oh, because it's only 5 minutes long. All right, so we're going with it's the only one I got.
Yeah, it's the only one I got.
Yeah, I'm really going to start. I'm going to do my best to start incorporating that to my everyday lexicon.
Oh, I also had the honorable mention of "Don't tell me we lost one of these." And he's like, all right, I won't tell you.
Yeah, that's pretty good too. The McLovin Award for the best supporting or scene-stealing performance.
I am McLovin.
I think that this is probably one of the easiest.
Yeah. Oh, obviously.
One of the easiest nominees and winners in the history of this podcast.
Right.
It's got to be Val Kilmer.
Yeah. He deserves it. 100%.
First off, before we get into the scene, Val Kilmer, incredible actor. Probably best known, obviously, is Doc Holliday in Tombstone.
Mm-hmm.
He was Chris in Heat, Jim Morrison in The Doors. But what were your thoughts on Val Kilmer?
Val Kilmer in this movie, I feel like...
well, I mean, just in general. Like,
as in general? Oh, yeah. As an actor, he has a particular tone and a particular style. Sometimes I judge actors based on the role that they play and whether or not it's different than how they are normally or how they are in other movies. He does have his own, for lack of a better term, like flavor when it comes to acting. But you can still see the nuance and the character that he puts into his roles that make him a slightly different person, which makes him a great actor. You can go watch and no offense to anyone who likes these actors, but you can go watch a Jim Carrey movie and know that he's going to be wacky in it, unless it's, a one-off like Eternal Sunshine. Or you can go watch a Sam Jackson movie and know that at some point he's going to be yelling motherfucker. But if you go watch a movie and you don't know how the actor's going to be in that movie, I think that's a sign of a good actor. And I think that's what Val Kilmer brings to the table.
I always said that he is kind of like Brad Pitt. Like Brad Pitt kind of has the same thing. Brad Pitt and Val Kilmer are like, they're character actors with leading man good looks.
Yeah.
Now, Brad Pitt's been able to, I think, do it much better where he's actually been able to be like the star of a movie. But Val Kilmer's best work has always been like in a supporting role. If you look at if you go down the list of the best Val Kilmer performances, you just walk up to somebody in the street and say, "Hey, name a Val Kilmer movie." Nine times out of 10, somebody's going to say Tombstone or Heat.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I've always felt like he's kind of like that. Like he is never quite able to get to the heights where he is like the lead. But man, you put him in as the second or third guy in a movie and he's perfect.
I agree. Yeah.
Real quick, favorite Val Kilmer movie or performance? I'll say performance.
Oh, performance, Tombstone, obviously. Yeah. But I really like Real Genius. When I was a kid, I really liked Batman, and he's not the worst thing in that movie either. But and I'll give him that. Like, he deserves that. He's not the worst Batman.
No, he's not.
But yeah, I think Tombstone's my favorite. What about you?
Same. Tombstone.
Yeah.
But this scene in Top Gun, he's only in the movie for not even 5 minutes. And he doesn't even say anything. He has to use a computer because by this point, Val Kilmer he had throat cancer, right? Or was it something to do with his trachea or his larynx?
It was cancer, but I don't remember what specifically, what kind of cancer, but he did have surgery, I think, and he couldn't speak.
Yeah, the numerous surgeries he had destroyed his vocal cords, so he wasn't able to speak. And actually what they did for this movie, because he does eventually speak, is they took some of his, they've taken audio clips of him in interviews and movies, and they basically created a voice for him to use for this particular performance.
Yeah.
But man, it's such a powerful scene. He's just he's typing on a computer. And even the scene where he wants to talk about work and Maverick, is doesn't want to talk about it. He's like, listen, it's revealed that he's dying of cancer or something, but we're under the impression it's cancer. He doesn't want to talk about that, but then he points back to Like I'm not dead. I still have a purpose on Earth.
Yeah.
So let me do this.
And I feel like that scene is true to life too, because obviously him and Tom Cruise are really good friends, and they've spoken about that in interviews too. And when they're in that scene, they're working together. So honestly, like he doesn't even have to act the scene. It's a true to life scene. The man is sick, both in real life and in the movie. That he wants to talk about work with his friend. So you're watching like a really a scene with it's a double-edged sword. I mean, on the one hand, it's really sad because it's real, but on the other hand, it makes the scene a great scene.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like when we decided to do this. I'm like, this was the first like nominee when I always like write the notes down and like I fill in as I go. Before I even started the movie, like I just typed in Val Kilmer as Iceman. Like,
yeah,
not even close.
Yeah, that it's literally the first note that I had as well. Like I'd usually go for McLovin late in the game. I generally do my like fun facts and things like that first. But this time it was McLovin first because I knew exactly who I was going to pick.
Yeah. And I mean, like, too, it gave us a chance to talk about him a little bit too. Cause I mean, I think if you're looking at strictly like the best scene in the movie, it's probably going to be him and Maverick's meeting. But, you know, for us, it was just, you know, we were looking for the action sequences more. But yeah, I mean, just a fantastic scene.
It's a great scene. And I don't think this movie would be as good as it is without the scene.
Yeah, you know, I found it fascinating that, you know, in his entire career, he was never nominated for an Oscar or a Golden Globe.
Yeah.
And his entire career never got any kind of recognition. I think it'd have been kind of cool to see him get like a Best Supporting Actor, but I don't think he has enough screen time to have qualified.
Right.
I don't know if there's
it would be maybe some posthumous award would be nice.
Yeah. But he's one of those guys too, like he'll live on. Like Tombstone is even Tombstone and Heat are absolutely iconic movies that 50 years from now, people are going to be like, we'll still be watching those in 50 years or 100 years. And they'll still be talking about like how great Val Kilmer is in those.
Right.
No one's going to remember no one's going to remember, you know, Val Kilmer in The Ghost in the Darkness.
No. The only thing, every time I think of that movie, I always think of the lion eating the baby. Like that's the only scene that I remember.
I remember I seen that, like me and my buddy Jeff went to see that in the movie theater. There was like maybe 4 people in the theater with us when we were watching that, and that happened. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I just like, what the fuck? Like, I didn't like think I said it. Like, what the fuck? Oh man. All right. The Dean Winners, Who's That Guy or Girl award for the performer that you've seen in a movie, but you don't know their name. My nominee is Jean Louise Kelly as Iceman's wife. You will probably remember her best as Tia Russell, John Candy's bitchy ass niece and Uncle Buck.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The absolute worst teenage character in the history of movies. She's like an absolute brat.
Yeah. Yeah, see, I didn't have anybody for this category. I actually looked through the entire cast. I'm like, all the people that I know, and all the people that I don't. There's not one person that looks familiar that I just don't know.
Right.
But now that you mentioned, yeah. Uncle Buck.
She was also on a TV show called Yes Dear. That was like in the early 2000s too. And she's been a bunch. She was in Mr. Holland's Opus. I do remember that.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure she's that creepy relation. Like she was the main female student in that Mr. Holland and that student kind of that weird
Yeah.
That weird vibe.
I think
which that movie
the
like
only
really
thing
that soured me on that movie. Like, no, I can't.
the only thing I probably would have remembered her in is probably Uncle Buck, though.
Well, yeah, because I mean, she's very memorable because she's an absolute fucking like. That is my template. Like, if my daughter does not grow up to be her, I've done okay, or worse.
Yeah.
I mean, she could be a fucking meet the wrong guy and become a serial killer. I doubt it. My daughter's a sweetheart, but as long as she doesn't go Tia Russell or worse, I've done okay.
Yeah. No crime, no joining cults. Maybe can be a little bit mean growing up, but I think that be fine after that.
All right. We normally the most insert random year here moment of the movie. This being 2022, it's really
the new planes.
Yeah. Or maybe the fact that like the military is considering drones for but yeah, they're still utilizing pilots.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really couldn't come up with too much though.
They totally would have used drones though, but that ruins the movie.
Yeah. Like I said, Top Gun flight sim.
Yeah.
Just doesn't. The Indiana Jones. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I logged 50 hours on Microsoft Flight Sim. I'm ready for this mission.
Now, if they came up with a game like that where you could fly like a fighter jet and have to do shit like that, I'd fucking totally buy it.
Yeah.
Because those are some of my favorite games as a kid. Because
oh man, Ace Combat was my stuff, man.
Ace Combat was really good. The old Sega Master System had a game called Afterburner that I fucking love.
Oh, I own Afterburner. Afterburner's fantastic. Love it.
And I think there's a couple other. There was actually a Top Gun video game. I think on the Nintendo.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It wasn't the best, but it was fun.
I always crashed the plane on the carrier. I always crashed it, and I'm like, fuck this game. I'm done.
Dude, every time I tried, like I said before, my dad was in flight sims, and every time I would go to the Air Force Museum, I would try one of his flight sims, and I would always forget to nose up the plane when I land, and I would run into the aircraft carrier and die every single time.
Mm-hmm. Oh, my kids love those too. Like they still have some of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll argue over who's going to play in what, but the Indiana Jones, it belongs in the museum award for the prop that you would want for your personal collection.
Probably helmet.
That's what I had to.
Or
yeah.
Maverick's jacket or helmet.
That was my runner-up choice, was the helmet. Or the jacket, but the helmet. Because, somebody's going to look in your house, and you've got that on display, and it says Maverick across it. It's going to be instantaneous. Like, oh, you got a Top Gun helmet. Very cool.
Yep.
And then you tell them, like, that's not just a Top Gun helmet. That is the Top Gun helmet.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise wore that.
Yeah.
Teaching a bunch of young kids how to fly. And he says, he fucks up, so he has to do it himself.
Yep.
One of the only people that fucks up and it gets promoted.
Yeah.
John Williams Award for the best use of music in the movie.
Danger Zone.
Oh, did you have the?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had the
Danger Zone.
Faltermeyer into the Danger Zone like remix.
Yeah.
That's it for me because that's perfect because like as soon as you hear that, even at the beginning when like the Faltermeyer like score kicks in, like okay, like you just instantly you get all these memories jarred back of the original.
Yeah. Yep.
I will say runner up though is Don't Get Fooled Again by The Who during that that training, like the training montage. That's really fucking good too. Anytime you can put The Who in a movie, it's like, okay, this scene's gonna rock at least.
Yeah, exactly. I just feel like that seems great, and that's probably a second choice for music, but you just get the feels with Danger Zone.
Right. I know it got nominated for Best Original Song. I'm guessing it's the Lady Gaga song they play at the end credits.
Yeah, it is.
I don't think I ever sat through that entire song.
It's an okay song.
Like, okay,
that's all right. Yeah, I don't hate Lady Gaga, but I'm not gonna like sit through the credits to listen to that.
No, it's no fucking abracadabra.
Yeah.
My daughter loves that song, and then like one day we were coming back from somewhere, and she wanted to hear. She heard it on like YouTube or something, and I have Apple Music, so at times it'll create a playlist for you of songs you've listened to more than a couple times, and I just like, fuck it, I'll hit this playlist. And it's like it played one song, I forget, it was like a metal song, and then that song came on, and normally I would skip it. But nope, I let the whole fucking thing play. I'm like, it's kind of catchy.
Yeah.
Abracadabra. And that's it. That's all you're going to get from me.
Yeah.
Keep one performer, recast it, the rest with Muppets. Tom Cruise. I just want to see him play I just want to see him play this serious with like fucking Muppets.
Yeah, no, I agree. Tom Cruise would be my pick. I don't know. I feel like Val Kilmer should stay as a person too. It would be really sad to see a sick Muppet.
Yeah, we'll give the Val Kilmer a pass, and it would make the that really weird scene with Tom Cruise and Jennifer Connelly. I don't know if they've had sex. But he's just like kind of laughing like hysterically in the bed. So I don't know if like she farted or she told like a joke or what. But that would make that scene even more hilarious if that was like a Muppet. He's just laughing like a madman.
They're in the middle of just like, love making, whatever you want to call it, and it's just like she's cracking knock jokes or just ripping ass.
Yeah, I don't understand that. Like this movie, Top Gun and Top Gun Maverick have had like just really bizarre like intimate sequences. I that's not what I'm calling, because like the one in Maverick, I don't know what happens. I just know they're lying in bed and like he's laughing.
He doesn't have his he doesn't have his clothes, like, because he has to get dressed before jumping out the window.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what happens with that, but that's really weird. Then like that fucking Blue in the original with Tom Cruise and Kelly McGillis, that's really weird too.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, that would make that scene even more hysterical if that's a Muppet.
I mean, but that's my new headcanon now, is she's ripping ass while they're doing stuff.
Yeah, just watch that, because that's what I thought. Like I was watching that the other day. Like, did she just like crack one, or did she just tell like the Aristocrats joke? Because he's just fucking like, something is super funny in this. I could not find a porno spoof name for Top Gun Maverick. I'm sure you could probably come up with a creative one yourself. I don't know. I might get rid of that category. It doesn't seem to be hitting.
It might hit if we did more 80s movies, but we've been striking out with those too.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. The Hall of Fame award for career achievement. Obviously, it would not be Tom Cruise's Hall of Fame, but if you were to section off Tom Cruise, post Oprah, jumping on the couch, Tom Cruise.
Post Oprah, jumping on the couch, Tom Cruise. Yes. Yeah,
100%. I would say this or Mission Impossible Fallout, but I would say probably. I mean, it's his first $1 billion movie.
Yeah, I would say this.
Miles Teller.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I had a little bit of trouble with this I would either say this or Whiplash.
Yeah, Whiplash was a really big hit when it came out, and it's still really great. But I feel like it's fallen to the wayside when you think of like, it was a really good film. It's just not super memorable when you go back that far into movie history. It's not super old, but what I mean is like you forget about that movie after a couple of years.
Hey, speak for yourself. Anytime I hear the word tempo, I instantly not quite my tempo.
Really?
Yeah. Anytime.
Really? Okay.
It's that's an incredible scene from that. That's probably one of my favorite just scenes from the 2000s. Maybe we should rename the Martin Scorsese This Is Cinema Award to the It's Not Quite My Tempo Award for the best scene in the movie. That's how strongly I feel about that particular scene.
Okay. All right. I mean, they're both great actors, and he's an amazing actor in that, and J.K. Simmons, great actor as well.
Won
Very
an Oscar
good
for that movie.
Super. Like, if I'm ranking movie antagonists, like, of course, everybody's going to be like Joker, Darth Vader. You know, they're normal. That guy is sadistic.
He is a dick.
Yeah.
What about Jennifer Connelly? Now, before you answer, just think.
Oh.
She has won an Academy Award.
Yeah, she has, and I don't think that this is her Hall of Fame movie.
Yeah, well,
I don't. I mean, what would you?
I would say A
consider
Beautiful
her Hall-
Mind. She won an Oscar for it.
Yeah, yeah,
On a personal note, though, the
yeah.
Penny horse scene from Career Opportunities is probably would be that for like Career Opportunities for me for that particular scene, but that's 13-year-old Russ talking.
I know everybody likes Jennifer Connelly. I'm not a huge Jennifer Connelly.
Oh, dude, I fucking love Jennifer Connelly.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm not huge into Jennifer Connelly. I know a lot of people were, and they're like, "Oh man, Jennifer Connelly hot in this or something or other," but like, I never got the appeal.
I don't know, man. Just something about, she looks fucking amazing in this.
She looks great. Like she aged very well. I think that, you know, she's ugly or anything. I never got the appeal. It's just not my my type of actress.
Hey, different strokes for different folks, as my old grandpappy used to say. I had John Hamm and Glenn Powell. I don't know if it's really worth mentioning too much. I like both these guys.
Yeah.
I think John Hamm would obviously be Mad Men.
Yeah.
And Glenn
John Hamm was
Powell,
good.
I would say probably Twisters.
Yep. Twisters he was great in that movie.
But he still has, like, that is probably going to change.
Yeah.
I just seen he's Edgar Wright, the director of like Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and Scott Pilgrim. He remade The Running Man, and Glenn Powell starring in it in the Arnold Schwarzenegger role.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh. Okay.
And I believe it comes out this year.
Gonna have to see that.
Yeah.
Also, we should probably do Twisters because, yeah.
Well, Twisters at some point, but yeah, I don't want to do it. It just came out last year.
I know, but we're doing Top Gun Maverick. I mean, we should.
Well, Top Gun Maverick's had a couple of years to like sit in the fermenting barrel and bust it out. Like, you know, you don't want to trot Twisters out. Like,
I just feel like we're doing a newer movie. Maybe.
I think you're gonna talk me into Twisters. And the next thing you know, like a week after fucking Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning comes out, we're going to be fucking doing that episode too. Like, hey guys, keep in mind, this movie just came out. Spoilers aplenty.
Dude, we should go see it and then literally do the podcast right after. Initial Impressions podcast.
Hey, that is my IMAX movie for the month, is Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning. So, I don't know. We'll see. We shall see. I I got a couple more here. San Diego, which is where Top Gun Maverick takes place. San Diego movies.
Are you sure the Lost World isn't going to? No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, probably. San Diego.
Now, come on.
Think of San Diego movies.
There is a iconic movie that takes place in San Diego, and it's not that old.
You're gonna have to. I'm gonna feel really salty because I'm not like on my A game right now. You're gonna have to tell me.
You honestly, you don't know.
No, I can't think of it.
A little film released in 2004.
2000 San Diego.
Called Anchorman: The Legend of Ron Burgundy.
Anchorman. Thank you. Yes. No, I wasn't even thinking comedy I was thinking, wait a second, action movie, San Diego. Yes, Anchorman.
Go fuck yourself, San Diego. Why did you say that, Ron? Poop mouth. Last one I got here is sequels. Now, yeah. I know that's tough sledding, but I think Top Gun Maverick has a case for being one of the best sequels of all time.
It does. I'm gonna change your category here just slightly. Second movie in a line of sequels.
Okay.
Now,
part two.
Part two.
That's part two. Okay. That's even better.
Yeah. Because there are a lot of good part twos. This is definitely top 5. If not top 3.
Godfather 2.
Yep. Star Wars.
Empire Strikes Back.
Yep. Top Gun Maverick.
I personally, for me, The Dark Knight would be on that list.
Dark Knight's great. That's definitely top 10. Two Towers. Let's see. Although all 3 of those movies are great. Back to the Future Part 2 is great.
Well, my criteria is does it surpass the original? And Back to the Future 2, as much as I love that, is not.
It doesn't. You're right. Yeah. Dark Knight definitely. Two Towers is still on my list. Born Supremacy.
See, I'm an Ultimatum guy. That's actually my favorite movie in the series. Yeah.
Ultimatum is your Supremacy is mine. I love when he's on top of the. Where is he? Like, you need to get some sleep or like something like that.
Yeah.
He's just right there. Let's see. Not Die Hard. Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
Spider-Man 2. Yeah, no, the Top Gun's definitely on the list.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, go ahead.
Twisters is good. Twisters can be counted as a part 2.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't necessarily discount the first one never happened. So,
yeah, I would say it's arguably a top 5 part 2 of all time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. As sequels go, probably top 10. I don't think it would make it as high.
Right. Well, I still think it does.
Okay.
I still think it does.
There's a lot of sequels that I'm thinking of right now. I don't want to list them all off because then we'll get off tangent, but
yeah. This isn't a Mark Dyer episode where we start talking about fucking Andor during a fucking a Mad Max episode.
Man, or like the Mandalorian song that I played when we were Star Wars one. That was so good.
Last one I got for Hall of Fame. Movie bars. Now, the hard deck is the kind of joint that I wouldn't mind being the owner of. It looks like a really cool joint. However, I don't think it belongs in the movie Hall of Fame for like bars in set movies. And if
No.
I could throw a couple of contenders at you.
Okay.
Obviously, number one for me is the Cantina Mos Eisley.
Cantina Mos Eisley, yeah.
Some
100%.
people, older people, would probably say Rick's Cafe Casablanca.
Rick's Cafe. It's not technically not a bar, but
Yeah,
cafe. But
all-time favorite is the Double Deuce from Roadhouse.
Double Deuce, yeah.
It's such a fucking sleazy bar.
I don't know. I don't know if it counts because the bar that George Bailey walks into in It's a Wonderful Life. Like I don't know why that scene sticks out in my mind. The bar scene.
There is Bob's Country Bunker from the Blues Brothers. And there's also the Titty Twister from Dusk Till Dawn.
The Titty Twister. You're forgetting about a really important bar scene, sir.
Well, I'm not talking about bar scenes. I'm just talking about the bar in general.
Right. The bar, Marion's bar in Nepal. And Raiders of the Lost Ark. That's a cool looking bar.
It's a cool bar, but it's an iconic bar.
Of course it is. And she drinks that guy under the table. Dude, I would totally spend it. If I were stuck in Nepal in the wintertime, I would totally be at that bar tonight.
That's a fair point. Because, I mean, that's really all you've got to do.
Right. And it's a great looking bar. I would totally, and if I were marrying, I would be proud of it. I'd be like, yeah, this is my bar.
Yeah. I mean, the Titty Twister, I mean, is a cool place, but it's also filled with vampires, and I wouldn't make it out alive. Yeah, that would be a tough one. Although it did have Salma Hayek.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like the Hard Deck is a good bar, but I don't think
not a great bar. Not top level, not memorable bar.
Right.
But yeah. I can't put it in the Hall of Fame.
Right.
And I had a question about that. Like, is she the only person that works there? Her and that old guy?
Yeah, just her and him. Yeah. And then her daughter's there doing homework or whatever the heck she's doing.
Yeah, she's just fucking like tending bar, having deep conversations with people, like not even batting an eye.
Yeah.
Man, impressive. I don't know why that woman's not married in that movie.
Because she's waiting on Tom Cruise because it's his fever dream because he died.
Yeah, oh yeah. We established that earlier. All right, final category. The Brotato score. That's what we're going with for right now. Out of 5.
Okay.
What would you give Top Gun Maverick?
5. 5 potatoes out of 5.
5 out of 5 for this one.
Whole 5-pound bag of russet brotatoes.
I will stand by this. This is, for me anyways, this is the best movie since like the pandemic, the 2020 pandemic. There's not been a movie that is, in terms of like rewatchability, that has come close to Top Gun Maverick. I mean, I like Spider-Man No Way Home. It loses a little bit of its charm once the reveal happens. I'm not spoiling that one for you guys, although I'm sure everyone knows what happens in that one by now. But yeah,
I feel like this one, and I mentioned this at the beginning of the episode. I feel like this one, I was afraid that it was going to be part of that whole franchise thing that Hollywood's doing right now. This one was different enough, and it stands on its own enough. You don't even have to watch the first one to like.
Right.
It's that good. It's good. And
the first one you'd have to understand some of the Rooster Maverick dynamic, why that is.
Even then, like, I feel like they've explained it enough in this particular movie. You don't even have to see the first one to enjoy this. And I
guess
feel like,
you can.
Like with Endgame, for example, you have to watch Infinity War at least, and then even then, you have 20 other movies make it better, make it what it is. This one stands on its own. It's a great film, really rewatchable. Has great action scenes, great emotional scenes, and it happened at a time that we didn't have a lot of that. So I think you're right.
We fucking needed it. We needed Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah, we did.
We still fucking need it. Still need it to this day. Yeah, 5 out of 5 for sure. So
5 out of 5.
Yeah. Well, that's going to do it for this week, gang. We hope you enjoyed the episode. Be sure to follow us on our social media pages, which will be in the show description below, those links, so you can click on your platform of choice and give us a follow. That way you get all the latest updates on the show. Find out when we will eventually release another episode, hopefully next week.
Yeah.
Hopefully things start slowing down, or we get enough of a window. Or someone could just write us like a $2 million check, and we'll just quit and we'll just do this full time. However you guys want to do it,
let's do it that way.
GoFundMe. I'm not above asking for money. Or you could just some rich, Warren Buffett, if you're listening, just cut us a check, man. I can be bought and paid for.
Agreed. I don't even need his whole fortune. I just need less than 1% of it.
Yeah, just give us your walking around money.
Yeah,
which I'm sure is probably quite a bit. Just follow us on those. Click on the link. Give us a follow. That way you get all the latest updates on the show. Be sure to give us a review on Apple Podcasts if you like what you heard here today. The best way you can support the show is by leaving us a 5-star review. It only takes a minute. So you just click on the 5 stars, write a brief description, just like, hey, this show's awesome. That's all it takes. You can also leave us a review on Spotify. Just click on those stars below, next to the show, or the show title, the show. I don't know. It's been a while since I've been on Spotify. I'm not going to lie to you. But there is a way you can rate the show on Spotify. So please, if you listen on Spotify, and by looking at the analytics of the show, not a lot of you do, which is cool. But wherever you listen to, please give us a review. We do appreciate it. So until next week, we will talk to you guys and gals later.
Free audio post-production by alphonic.com.